But we have another award for another pioneer fiddle player from Grayson County. Could I ask the Meredith family to please come up? Harold, Mary, Susan. There's another fiddle player who is well known in Grayson County, and he was also a very good friend of mine. His name was Bud Meredith. Does anybody remember Bud? Bud was a fine gentleman. He was a great man. He loved music. He loved everything about music. And I remember when I was a kid, Mark Ralph and I and Jimmy Mattingly and Harold and all of us, Bud was always there. He was always very, very encouraging, and he was just a classic guy. And we have a special award, and Bud's wife and his daughter are here to help me present this award. I'm going to read a little bit about Bud. This is called the Bud Meredith Showmanship Award. Grayson County native Bud Meredith began his love affair with the fiddle at an early age. You want to read it? Fascinated with the melodies he heard at local pie suppers, Bud set out to make music of his own. At the age of 8, Bud made his own fiddle out of a cigar box. And that's somebody who wants to play fiddle, isn't it? That began his long and successful music career. After playing at several county events, Bud went on to have much success playing on the radio after high school. His career started in 1939 at WOMI in Owensboro, and it took him to WHAS and WAVE in Louisville, and later to Indiana, Pennsylvania, Missouri. He was also a regular winner at Fountain Ferry's Grayson County Day in Louisville with his friend Herman. Bud served in World War II, and he was under the leadership of George Patton. Bud was allowed to keep his fiddle as a morale booster for the troops, and he actually crossed in August of 1944. He took his fiddle with him as he crossed the English Channel toward Omaha Beach. During his career in music, he played with such greats as Pee Wee King, Clayton McMitchen, the Stoneman Family, Dottie West, and Farron Young, just to name a few. He also had a 15-year stint at Renfro Valley and was a regular at regional jamborees, and he also performed in Honky Tonk Angels at the Derby Dinner Playhouse in Clarksville. Bud competed in numerous fiddle contests across the company and won several, including the Burl Ives National Fiddling Contest in Covington, Kentucky, 1963. Perhaps his most requested tune was Listen to the Mockingbird, and he could indeed mock the sounds of bird with his fiddle. And I can tell you folks, I've heard him play it many times, he really could. He was amazing. Bud loved to share his wisdom with beginning musicians. He gave bluegrass legend Sam Bush his very first job at the Dixie Jamboree in Cave City and took him to compete in his first contest in Weiser, Idaho. Actually, Bud took Sam out there 4 times. Bud was later named South Regional Champion in Idaho in 1973. Even in his 90s, Bud still played the fiddle for anyone wishing to listen. Bud passed away in April of 2011 at the age of 92. While he is gone, his music lives on, and those who knew him, loved him, and learned from him. I appreciate the Meredith family coming up here. Bud was a very close friend of mine. I was in Idaho this summer, and I saw Bud's picture on the wall at the U.S. Nationals. I did not know this, but Bud was actually an officer of the National Old Time Fiddlers Association. He represented the entire South in 1966. I never knew. He was a very humble man. He was a very gracious man. He would have never told me that in his life. So, the judges talked, and we have picked a person we feel would play the type of music that Bud would appreciate with the type of showmanship. And I would like to ask Dan Kelly, please come to the stage. Dan, the Fiddle Festival Committee has unanimously decided to honor you with the first Bud Meredith Showmanship Award for being the type of fiddling, doing the type of fiddling and the type of showmanship that Bud was known for and loved for. And we would like to congratulate you as the Bud Meredith Showmanship Award.
I would like to thank Eddie Carnes and all the men that put this, coordinated this contest. This is very nice, very humbling, very heartwarming. And I know if Bud could be here, this would just really make his day because he loves all these musicians and all these fans. And he had a special place for Dan Kelly, and it's ironic that he won the award in his memory. So I really appreciate that. Mary appreciates that, and thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And Dan, congratulations. Dan and I talked earlier in the week, and I know Bud was a very personal friend of Dan's. We grew up together fiddling, and I know that Bud would be very, very honored to have Dan Kelly as the first Bud Meredith Showmanship Award. Now I'm going to hush and turn it back over to the professional.